files. It's not going to happen very often in your home, but it can definitely happen in an enterprise environment. ACLs will change all the time. So when you're doing a migration before this bug was fixed, those ACL changes wouldn't be picked up and those files would not be migrated over, the changes in the ACLs. So we've since fixed that, and that's just an example of a particular enterprise scenario that's really important, but wasn't necessarily ever exposed to in a home user environment.
So what you've basically done is you've been able to take an existing tool set that exists, say for desktop scenarios, and really move it up into the enterprise and into the server then.
Yeah, there are a few different migration solutions that are built on that same migration framework, the common framework there. The in-place upgrade was built on it before, and then the home Windows Easy Transfer experience was built on that same migration framework as well. So yeah, but now that we're bringing it into some more server-based scenarios, we're getting to expand on it and improve it for more broad range of scenarios.
This is a really cool story, and I gotta ask you guys, why so long? I mean, we've been dealing with server migrations. We move servers all the time. Why so long until we get everything kind of in one place in a really good common tool set?
Joy, that's a really good question. And probably as you and many of the viewers may know that server migration is a very complex problem, and it is very difficult to solve it in one go successfully. So what we've done in this release, we have decided, okay, we identify only the highest priority rules, the highest priority scenario, which is replacement scenario in our case, and just go squarely at solving this problem. And then we architect our solution in a way on both tool and the documentation side that we can expand it going further.
So basically, you're starting now, and this is a good starting point. We've got some tools now, but should we expect some more things coming in the future?
Well, this is something that we are seriously thinking about.
Okay, that's a really cool story. So let's go through it, just a quick walkthrough of, top to bottom, what we have to do to say, migrate a DHCP server.
Okay, you want to take that, Sergei?
Yeah, so basically the way we have structured our migration documentation is that exactly just like you said, it guides you through top to bottom. And it goes through all the important phases of the migration process, which is preparation. And during the preparation phase, it will instruct you how to prepare your source server, how to prepare your destination server, what kind of impact it will have on the end users, and will provide you some tips how to minimize that impact. And then during the migration steps, it will also provide all the necessary details that are and all the steps that you need to perform to successfully migrate. Not just to run our tools, but to perform other necessary preparation steps as well, such as stop DHCP service. It will instruct you when necessary to deauthorize your DHCP server from AD. And once you have done with all the preparation steps, then it will instruct you to run our migration tools. It will explain when and how to use all the parameters. And after that, it will guide you to perform a very similar import operation to import settings on the destination server, join it back to the ID, and bring it back to the service. And most importantly, our migration guides also provide verification instructions, so you can be sure that the migration has been successful. And if it has not been successful, we also provide rollback instructions how to kind of revert back to the original environment.
That's really kind of a key story here, because that's one of the things that we look at when we look, okay, am I going to upgrade my server? Am I going to migrate my server?
Right.
By having that server there, in case something goes wrong, by choosing migration, I've got the old server I can fall back on. So the tools and the instructions that you've laid out, that allows for that rollback as well?
Yep, absolutely.
Excellent. One question for you, Jared. Say, for instance, we're doing a DHCP migration from one box to another, and somehow I missed the step of maybe installing the role on that destination server. Does your tools check for that and call it out for me?
Right, so that's a very good question, Joey. So the specific example you're given in this question here is something that our tool set handles completely for you. So if the role isn't already installed on your target server, when you're running our import commandlet, it'll make sure that for any of the roles that you're specifying to be included in the migration, they'll be automatically installed along with the roles and role services and features that they depend on as well. So everything you need on the box will be installed for you. But to take that a little bit further, in a more general error case, This is one of the nice things about PowerShell and PowerShell scripting. So when one of our cmdlets runs, where you're returned back a set of result objects, and you can use PowerShell to query into those results objects and get more detailed information about the specific cause of the error. You can get an error code, you can get an error message associated with it. So you can use PowerShell scripting and PowerShell variables to get a better sense of what actually happened during the migration, as opposed to just a single error message or a single icon indicating a failure.
So I could really go back through and look at just using PowerShell, just simple stuff that we kind of already know how to do now in PowerShell, and get exactly why certain failures occurred?
Yeah, so every single operation that we perform as part of the migration is saved. The result of that is saved into a particular PowerShell variable along with the details of that operation. So everything's just in a set of PowerShell variables that you can query against.
Okay. So where do people go to see all of this? Where's the one-stop shop for everything migration?
Okay, it's very easy to find. You go to TechNet, you search for migrate to Windows Server 2008 R2, and you will find a server migration portal among the top of the results on that TechNet.
Okay, and then one final question, because I'd be remiss if I didn't do it. What are the platforms, or starting at what server level, which release can we start using your migration tools? Is it just 2008? Is it just R2?
So we support migrations from 2003, 2008, and 2008 R2 to Windows Server 2008 R2. And also, which I think can be pretty important to some of the users, we support migrations between physical servers and virtual servers in both directions, and between full server and server core, which can allow for pretty interesting deployment scenarios to take advantage of this new functionality in Windows Server 2008 and R2, such as server core.
This is really, really great stuff, and I can't wait to get this out for the IT pros out there to see. Thanks, guys, for taking the time with me.
Thanks, Ajay.
Thank you, Joe.